to the north once again. Who will be the next household name in Canada? Find out next at the second annual BioSteel All-Canadian Game. They are the best of the rest north of the border. Today, the second annual BioSteel All-Canadian Game showcases what this nation has to offer. Last year, Kentucky freshman Jamal Murray put on a show.
Murray, wow, just top three. Are you serious?
Tonight, the next class hopes to steal the spotlight. The future is as bright as ever. Catch them while you can at the 2016 BioSteel All-Canadian Game. Beautiful spring night in downtown Toronto as fans file into the Gold Ring Centre at the University of Toronto to see the next wave of Canadian basketball stars. It is Team Red versus Team White coming up on TSN. Hello, Canada, and welcome to the second annual BioSteel All-Canadian Basketball Game. My name is Kate Burness. Well, for the second straight year, 24 of the top high school basketball players that were either born here in Canada or currently enrolled in a Canadian institution will go head-to-head. Now, last year in this game, we saw Jamal Murray put on a show, picking up MVP honors. Murray had a fantastic season under John Calipari at the University of Kentucky and is now a projected top 10 pick in the NBA draft. Who should we be watching for this year? With much more on that, let's send it over to the guys calling the game, Rod Black and Leo Routens.
Thank you, Kate. Looking so forward to tonight. Last year, there were the obvious, the bona fides, the Jamal Murrays. This year, we're looking at things a little bit differently. We're looking ahead. Some rising stars here tonight.
Exactly. Not only have guys that are ready, but you're looking at the future of Canadian basketball with some of these players. How about this young man, Andrew Nemhard from Vaughan Secondary School, a young man that played for the starting point guard on the silver medalist cadet national team last summer, qualified for the World Championships in Spain this summer, and he is a player, high basketball IQ, understands the game, tremendous floor game. You're going to be impressed with what he does.
High school that produced this guy named Andrew Wiggins.
Yeah, he's not bad.
And so this guy is not too bad himself.
That's right. Iggy Brzezinski played at Orangeville Prep.
You like him because he's Lithuanian.
Well, yeah, that's not a bad plus on his side. A lot of good Lithuanian basketball players over time. But what Iggy brings to the table is a clutch performer. Inside, outside, lefty. When the game is on the line, when you need a big bucket, go to Iggy.
We will watch Iggy tonight and some of the other players, and there are a lot of them. In fact, every one of them has something to show here tonight. This isn't just a showcase showtime. There's something to prove.
No question about it. Some of these guys are committed. Nikola Jogo going to the University of Notre Dame to play for Mike Bray, an NCAA team.
Nate Darling won the three-point competition last night out in Orangeville, a kid from the Maritimes. You're going to hear a lot about him. He's a three-point gunner.
And he's got unbelievable range. Here, Uguak going to University of New Mexico to play for former Raptors assistant coach Craig Neal. So you see, basketball is just one big family.
So you might not recognize these names right now, but you will down the road. It's going to be a great night tonight. Kate?
Thawn Maker was set to participate in this game tonight. He has instead opted to continue preparation for the upcoming NBA draft, but we will have Thawn on set a little later on during the All-Canadian Game. Don't go anywhere. Tip-off between Team Red, Team White at the BioSteel All-Canadian Basketball Game coming up next on TSN.
The 2016 BioSteel All-Canadian Basketball Game is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pink.
Welcome inside the Gold Ring High Performance Center on the University of Toronto campus near Yonge and Bloor, downtown Toronto. Hotbed for hoops, and some of the best Canadian high school talent is getting ready to get on the floor to get it on here tonight. Starting lineups for the BioSteel All-Canadian Game. This will change throughout the night. Here are some of the names that we'll be watching. Look out for someone like Nikola Jogo. Also out there will be Danilo Juricic, the DJs, both wearing number 13. But for both sides, we're going to talk all night long about some of this young Canadian talent that you're going to be hearing a lot more about down the road.
And no question about it, Rod. You have some explosive young players, and there's Dave DeVero coaching the red team. He's the head coach of the University of McGill. Did a great job. He's really turned that program around, and he's excited also coaching the Canadian cadet national team.
He's at McGill. He left the University of Ottawa, and when he left, this guy took over. James Deveron, Team White head coach tonight.
And he's being assisted by Gus Gymnopoulos of Vaughan Secondary, and the assistant for Dave DeVero on the other side is Paul Melnick from Henry Carr.
So we're ready to roll here tonight. Red and white. Second BioSteel all-Canadian game has tipped off, and quickly Team Red takes control. Howard Washington Jr.
Interesting, Rod, watching practice the other day. These guys are intent on trying to run some things and execute, not your typical approach to an all-star game.
O'Shea Brissett knocks down the first shot for Team Red.
He's got some length. He's a tremendous athlete, and that's the one area he's really kind of concentrate on, becoming a more consistent jump shooter.
Now driving in baseline, trying to feed it off was Nate Darling. Darling won the three-point competition last night out in Orangeville.
We touched on it off the top. This kid's got some crazy range.
Their first shot is off for Team White. Isaiah Mike, who was in the slam dunk competition last night. Jalen Llewellyn, you'll see him later, won the competition. But this guy's got some serious hops, too.
You're going to see a lot of that out here.
4 12-minute quarters. Again, a great showcase here, and quickly to the rack is Khalif Young. We saw Khalif at the Jordan Brand Invitational, plays at Orangeville Prep and also the Athlete Institute.
And being recruited by a lot of schools, Rod, and the great thing about it is he looks a lot better than he even did at the end of the season. He's really putting into time on his game.
Brissett strong to the basket, and off the rack it goes in.
And you can see how quickly he can get down the floor. He really is a tremendous athlete, runs like a deer.
Javon Blair, also Orangeville Prep player.
Heady player. You're talking about a guy who's pretty slick, smooth when he's on the floor.
Brought down by Young.
Young's a big fella, man.
He is.
Takes up a lot of space.
Brissett, Jason DeRosier inside, one of the Quebec players. Washington Jr., actually an American-born player, but with dual citizenship.
Yeah, and you know, talking to Howard Washington, he played in this game last year and struggled a little bit, and he said, you know what, I was nervous. And talking to a few other players, that's what they said, that this game means a great deal to them. And someone said they were just a little tight, so the returnees are going to be much more relaxed.
Now knifing inside was Matur Maker, and quickly to the rack is Jogo.
Oh, Mike Gray's going to like that at Notre Dame. They're going to go small ball. Zach August is going to be out of that lineup, and they're going to play a smaller brand of basketball, and Jogo's a big part of that coming into Notre Dame next year.
Will go to UND, Notre Dame next year. And coast to coast, and the flush from Khalif Young.
That's what you want to see from your big man. You get a big that runs the floor. First one down on offense, first one back on defense, and you're going to make an impact.
Team White struggling out of the gate here. Javon Blair finally gets one to go after a 1-for-6 start, and it's 11-2 Red.
Well, Javon Blair is one of those players that can get you back into a game. He's just a player that just has a good feel, crafty.
Isaiah Mike runs the floor now, and once again that left-handed shot from Blair. Rebound handled by Maker, Matur Maker, his brother Thawn not in the game. And again, a lot of talk about Thawn Maker, and I know he's going to sit down with Kate Burness and maybe clarify a little bit about his decision to declare for the NBA draft.
It's an important time for him right now, and you really can't risk anything. You have to be very selective about every time you showcase your abilities. And, you know, I can understand him not necessarily wanting to play right now, but, hey, Matur, he played a great game here last year. He's already off to a good start sharing the basketball.
There's
so
Matur.
Little brother's doing okay.
Yes, he is. And what a fascinating story, Leo. The two of them coming from war-torn Sudan at a young age, went to Australia, ended up there, played some prep ball down in the States, and then eventually up into the Orangeville area and this incredible athlete institute that has become a haven for basketball north of Toronto.
It's an unbelievable facility, and don't be surprised about this. Danilo Juricic from St. Mike's right here in Toronto Also a member of the Canadian cadet team last summer. He can shoot the three. You're talking about a very smart, heady basketball player.
Khalif Young put back there on the miss from Washington, and Khalif Young has a couple of buckets early on here.
That's what I said, Rod. If you look at his game, he's better than he was during the season, which tells you he's dedicated to his body, working hard, and that's what he told me. He said, I'm getting ready, and he still hasn't decided where he's going to go to school next year, but he's got a lot of offers on the table.
Brissett blocked that shot by Maker. There's the two-point effort from Jogo, Nicola Jogo.
Now, doesn't he look like a Notre Dame guy? I mean, he just fits right in. Run the floor, shoot the jump shot, high basketball IQ, typical Mike Brey type of ball player.
Maker lost the ball a couple of times, mishandling, and Jogo, nice bounce pass to Brissett, and had the ball stolen, and it's a foul here.
I thought Matur Maker did a pretty good job of getting back defensively that time. But the big fella for the red team, Khalif Young, making his presence felt early, Rod. A big man that runs the floor, gets position, doesn't give up on plays, and obviously can play above the rim.
Our referees tonight, by the way, Christine Vong, Jason Dawkins, and David Bonin, and this will be an inbound play here. And your boy Iggy is on the floor.
Yeah, Iggy Brzezikas, also a Orangeville prep player and another player that played for Dave DeVero last summer for Canada.
They did call it an inbounds play at the beginning, but Brzezikas is going to have to sit down because the foul.
It's an all-star game. Let him in there.
Brissett's going to shoot. A little bit different all-star game, though, don't you think? When you have some scouts out here, and it's not like an NBA all-star game or other all-star games in other sports where there is a lot of fancy stuff and not much defense. You're going to see a lot of defense here tonight.
Yeah, and the scouting is at the pro level, Rod. I mean, this is not one of the hot periods right now, so you're seeing a lot of NBA people scouting these young kids, and I tell you what, they're working very hard. They're trying to play together. And just impressed with the overall attitude, talking to the coaches, both coaches saying, you know what, the greatest part about this game is working with these guys because there's not a bad kid out here. And that's not basketball-wise, that's just character-wise.
Three-point effort, rebounded there, and the two players we talked about before the show now on the floor, Andrew Nembhard for Team White and Iggy Brzezikas for Team Red. So we'll get a look at some of these young kids, and another young one is Danilo Juricic. There's Darling.
Watch out.
24/7. Lights are on. He wants to shoot. Apparently takes 1,000 shots a night.
Hey, you want to be a great shooter, you got to get that ball up there. And that's one of the things, even earlier today, watching him, he's out here. He's getting shots, taking shots. And as I said, watching his range really, really is impressive. He goes well beyond the three-point line.
Nembhard from Aurora, Ontario. Again at Vaughan Secondary School, a school that produced Andrew Wiggins, of course. Nembhard. Kick out now to Mike. Shot clock's at 6. Isaiah Mike with a finger roll. Nice play.
Well, you're talking about an athlete. He also made an impression in the dunk competition yesterday, but he can really get up. He gets up quick.
Howard Washington's shot is off and batted right back. And Washington now strong to the basket, but that is also taken away by Team White, making a comeback here in this first quarter.
Well, nice job by Mike, making an impact defensively and offensively.
Here, Ugak, one of the Western players here from Edmonton, Alberta. Former football player, has committed to the University of New Mexico.
That's right. I talked to him about that the other day. I said, you're going to play for Noodles. Your coach is an ex-Raptor coach, Craig Neal, and he was a heck of a player himself. Could really pass the basketball. So I said, you're going to have fun playing for him.
Jalen Llewellyn's on the floor right here, number 3. Great player. There's Iggy. Missed
you don't see that happen to him.
The easy chippy for Iggy Brzezikas. It was almost like he wanted to dunk it, then decided at the last minute not to. What a play here. There's Nate Darling.
And he's a very understated young man. I asked him, how's your handle? He goes, I'm working on it. So you keeping people honest? You could tell he's definitely put in some time right there. And good defense on McEwen.
Nembhard. End-to-end. Kick back out. Darling. 3-point. No. Off the rim. Well, end-to-end it goes here.
Well, one of the things I asked these guys, are you going to play defense or are you just going to run up and down the floor? And they all said, no, don't worry about it. We're going to play D.
Zikas is off. Rebound there. Back out to Ugwak and taken away once again. Stolen by Team Red. Khalif Young back down to McEwen. Nice baseline play. Gets the roll off the rim.
And Kobe McEwen, you're talking about another guy that's a tremendous athlete. He can really get up and get into you. Runs the floor. He's committed to Utah State next year.
There's Mike, a three-point effort. Isaiah Mike. Toronto kid. Played at Trinity International in Prep in Nevada. He's committed to Duquesne University in Pittsburgh.
And you know what? Talking to him about that, he says, I want to make a difference. I want to be a game changer. I want to be a big piece of that puzzle at Duquesne, which is struggling to get their program going.
Darling now. Will he get it going? Look out now. This kid can fire from wherever.
He's got a swag about his game, Rod. He's confident. He believes he can make any shot he takes.
McEwen. Nothing but net. Back and forth they go here.
McEwen was one of the guys that told me last year he was a little nervous in this game, and he's a big talker. He said he loves to get into your grill and try to make it uncomfortable for you.
Strong baseline move, and off the glass once again is Isaiah Mike, leading Team White right now.
Oh, he's made a big impact here.
Zikas, who played in the Jordan Brand Invitational game and really impressed against some of the American opposition, has yet to score here. DeRosier trying to feed it underneath for Young. He was covered. And
Isaiah Mike is everywhere, getting steals, getting buckets.
Oh, right at the rim. Well, they call it look up to the north, look up to the rim. That won't go. 20-19 is the score here, though. We've got a timeout on the floor. How about this? Oh, darling. And the BioSteel
Nash extension on that.
Yeah. We'll be back.
I'm Isaiah Mike, small forward from Trinity International, and I'm from Scarborough, Ontario. I'm really to myself if you don't really know me, but once you get to know me, I'm really a goofball. I just like having fun. I played tenor saxophone for 3 years. One of my favorite shows was The Simpsons, and seeing Lisa play the saxophone, she was doing it so smoothly, and I'm like, whoa, that must be cool. So then once the music term came around for school, then I really wanted to play the saxophone, and my teacher let me.
All of sweet music, Isaiah Mike. He's on the bench right now, but a great start for him. 7 points in this game.
Well, you can see his personality, and his personality comes through on the floor. And he's a great athlete, can take the ball to the bucket, but immediately made an impact on the game defensively. And just as an energy guy, he's all over the place. And, players like that just make your team better, that want to play. And that's what I said about his reasons for going to Duquesne. He could have went somewhere where it'd be easier, but he wants to be a part of the fix. He wants to make that program great. And that's what I love about this young man, just talking to him. You feel that confidence when you're around him.
Team White has its first lead in the ball game. They were down 11-0 early on. They've righted the ship here. Nice bounce pass. There's Iggy right to the basket.
That's one of the plays they're working on. Excellent look. And there's Zikas. He can hit it outside, moves extremely well without the ball.
Anthony Longpre out of Montreal, Quebec. That nice bounce pass. Nate Darling.
Yeah, and he talks about his passing ability. Longpre says, hey, I can get that ball to you if you're open.
Oh, blocked there. Nate Darling. Blocked by the opposite number 11, O'Shea Brissett.
No, Brissett using that length, a tougher matchup to try to drive on Brissett.
Brissett also out of Findlay Prep in Nevada and Mississauga. Undecided, has got a lot of offers right now. There's McEwen.
Quick
nice
move.
lay-in. Splits the seam.
Yeah, nice little look like he's coming into the middle, fake crossover and straight down.
On the floor, Grant Shepard, West Coast, Kelowna, BC. Brissett launches. Got it. Three-pointer.
I guess what he told me was true, Rod. He is working on the jumper because it is falling. And look at his defense right here. Active, gets the ball. Darling a little careless. Got to take care of the rock.
Brissett now. Longpre and Brissett working it. How about another one? No, not this time. For Zikas. Zikas, who from Oakville, born in Lithuania. Family moved to Oakville 5 years ago. He's been in the United States for a while, but I hear a lot about this young man. Nice reverse. That can't go for Emmanuel Acott out of Winnipeg. McEwen again. Hop step through the paint. No, off the front rim. Got his own rebound. Swatted away by Shepard. Still has it underneath. Won't get the basket, but he'll go to the line.
Nerves are gone. He's ready to go this year. Boy, he's coming out, and he's balling already.
Well, they're all balling here at the BioSteel All-Canadian second annual. 27-21 Team Red first quarter. The star of this game last year, Jamal Murray, back home, Kentucky Wildcat. Likely a top 10 pick in the NBA draft. And look who else is in the house.
Well, it's a day off. What do you want to do on a day off? You want to watch more hoops, right? And that's typical DeMar DeRozan, man. This guy is a gym rat, hoop junkie. Out checking out some ball.
Yeah. Getting ready. 2 games to go. We'll have the games on TSN tomorrow night and Wednesday night, and then it's on to the playoffs.
And now officially the second leading all-time scorer for the Toronto Raptors, past Vince Carter last night. And
eventually will be number
chasing
1.
down Chris Bosh. You know, what a season has been for the Raptors. You know, you have individual marks like that for DeMar DeRozan, but Toronto 54 wins, a franchise record, 23 road wins, a franchise record. So a whole different scenario heading into the playoffs this year versus the last 2 seasons.
Kobe McEwen. 8 points right now for Team Red. Knocks down that free throw, and Shepard swinging it over to Nembhard, and Shepard strong to the basket, gets the roll there. He has his first bucket. Brand Shepard, the 17-year-old from the West Coast.
Yeah, he's long, he's quick, he can get up. Nice job by Nembhard to deliver the ball in the right place for him.
Llewellyn, long play, long shot, no. Rebound. Shea Alexander in the game. Oh, what a play here. Athletic from number 15, Markel Fraser. And the other way, they try it too, and it just will not go for Team White. Down 29-23.
A good defense by Nembhard.
Shepard turns low, spin move, got it.
And he's really been working on it. You see his moves around the basket, Rod. I watched him play last year. He's spending a lot of time dunking the basketball. Now he's adding on to it. You can't dunk all the time. You got to find other ways to score, and he's definitely shown improvement in so many different areas.
Fraser trying to knife through, and instead, it's Alexander. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander from Hamilton Heights High School in Tennessee.
And talking, all the other guys talk about him and say, hey, this guy's got some pops. Watch out for him. Well, it looked like there was a foul there and a late call, but Shepard gets the call.
Shepard's Kelowna Secondary School Owls were the Quad A champions. He was the MVP, 23-0 season. Again, a part of that cadet team, Leo. Maybe for the uninitiated out there, because you have such a strong affiliation with Team Canada, coaching the national team and playing, of course. What does that cadet team do for players down the road?
Well, it's just that experience to be able to play internationally, be exposed to the game. It's a different level, and the coaching is tremendous, and you get a, you know, it's something different than just playing club ball or AAU ball or your high school ball. You get to play at a really, really high level, and it just starts cultivating that relationship. These guys start having teammates, relationships that they take on, and hopefully it ends up going to the junior team, the senior team, and they play for many, many years representing their country.
Gilgeous-Alexander now with 19 seconds to go in the quarter. Batted away. Fraser, will it go? No. Markel Fraser will go to the line. He's committed to Virginia Commonwealth University. We know somebody. In fact, the last Canuck to go to VCU, we know very well.
Hamilton, and finally, it looks like they get a guy that can actually shoot the ball going to VCU.
And Fraser, he says, you know what I bring to the table is I got that prototypical body. I can defend, I can get into people. And you talk about his off-court interests. I mean, this is a guy that wants to be an economics major. He says, I love business and I love money.
Well, that's nothing wrong with that. Goblin Bowen lets it fly with 5 seconds to go. One last crack for Team Red. Fraser. Gilgeous-Alexander. No. Oh, a fast-paced first quarter, Leo.
Yeah, players up and down, fast-paced, but guys trying to execute, trying to play the right way. We're seeing some defense out there, which is also nice to see in an all-star game.
We love the BioSteel All-Canadian. When we come back, one of the great Canadians, Jamal Murray, will join us courtside here at the Gold Ring Center. University of Toronto, 33-25. Team Red leading the BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game. One of the superstars of Canadian basketball right now is this young man. Wears 23, the MVP last year in this game. It's Jamal Murray, of course. Kentucky Wildcat, who happens to be back home and joins us now. Time flies since last year, does it not?
For sure, for sure.
I mean, can you imagine after being in this game last year and all the stuff that you've gone through, to the Wildcats, to the NCAA, and now to the NBA?
It's crazy, just the journey I've been on, and have all the people around me to celebrate with. It's just crazy. I just want to make sure everything goes properly.
Hey, how about, we were just talking about, some of these guys play for the cadet national team and the experience of playing for Canada, and you got that great experience last summer in the Pan Ams. What was that like for you, and how big an impact does that make for you?
It was huge to get to play with NBA players and get some early experience and play a lot of minutes and do crucial games. So it helped a lot, and learning from the staff, great staff all around the NBA team and stuff. It was a great experience for me.
So second quarter underway with Jamal Murray. Courtside here at the BioSteel All-Canadian game, and quickly to the basket again is the BC native Brad Shepard. Who, you come back here, is it a different feeling now for you to see some of these guys that you played with? Have you talked to a lot of them?
Oh yeah, I know every single one on the court, and they're playing a good game so far, so I'm just trying to enjoy it. This guy's really good right here.
Yeah, Jalen alone won the slam dunk competition yesterday.
Yeah.
I heard he was sick. I heard he was sick.
My brother actually did the judging.
Oh, yeah. Now, a lot of these guys are in the process of making some decisions on where to go to school. How tough was that for you, making your decision? You ended up at Kentucky, but that whole process.
It was really tough. I had so many people pulling me different directions, so many those resources that I had to take a long time, and it came down to two schools, and Kentucky, I think, was the best fit for me. But these guys have a great talent. They can go far too.
What did you learn most with the Wildcats this year?
How to play off the ball. I think that was the biggest one. I'm so used to having the ball in my hand and run the show. But now being able to come up screens and read it properly and to see it from a different perspective really helped me.
I tell you what, a lot of people, that was to me the most impressive thing, for you to get that ball out of your hands and have to play that position and make the adjustment and play as well as you did. That's not an easy thing to do when you're used to having a rock in your hands all the time.
It was tough at first. I had many turnovers, and especially with three guards in the court, it made it even worse. So, but we all played our role, and now I found that role.
Shepard, there's the slam. Guy can put it down.
No, he's got some quicks, and he's not afraid to do that. He likes to attack the basket. We saw this last year a little bit, and we're seeing it again this year. This, unlike a lot of all-star games, where guys just coming down and jacking it up, these guys are actually trying to play a little bit, and even seeing some defense out there.
For sure. The coaches make sure that it's competitive and everybody's trying to play hard. So I seen them practices the other day, and they were very competitive. So everybody's off to a good start.
Well, that's the difference, too. With some of the all-star games, guys already have their livelihoods, and they know where they're playing next year. Some of these guys don't know where they're playing.
That's true. Yeah, like you said, they got some big decisions to make, and they just got to keep developing and stay focused on their path.
So as crazy as it was last year for you, making your NCAA decision. What about the NBA decision this year? Was it equally as nuts for you?
No, I wanted to come back. I wanted to stay in Kentucky. I wanted to play another year and win a championship. You know, that loss really got me, and you know, it made me want to get revenge back on and just win a championship. But best decision is just to go and see what happens.
Messiah Jury's here, president and general manager. I know they select 8th overall. How cool would it? I know this is putting you on the spot. How cool would it be to play here?
It'd be great. You know, the only Canadian team in the NBA, and play back at home in front of friends and family would be an amazing year.
And you know what's interesting is that you know, to be able to come back home and play.
Man, you know him well.
Yeah, I do.
He looks like he's just doing such a great job on his body running the floor.
Oh,
Man,
yeah.
he's impressive.
He got a lot better. Great passer, too.
He just hurt the rim, Jamal. That was for you, I think. Hey, great seeing you.
Yes,
whatever happens this summer, you deserve everything you're getting. Last year's MVP in the BioSteel All-Canadian game and headed to the NBA. Jamal Murray will come back to Toronto in a moment.
Khalif Young, power forward, Vaughan, Ontario, and I go to Orangeville Prep. One thing people don't know about me is I love kids and working with kids and being involved with kids and helping them learn and gain a lot of knowledge. After basketball, my biggest thing was I wanted to open up almost like a community center or organization where I can give back, especially with always being a part of basketball. I want to be able to do it where I can incorporate the sport that I love, but also helping people learn and helping people gain that support that they may need in their time in the time in their life.
I wonder if he tells some of those kids to destroy basketball rims. Look at this.
Yeah, nice little drop off by Howard Washington, and the big fella throwing it down. But you know, you listen to these kids talk, and that's what I was saying with the coaches, saying how enjoyable this experience is for them, because you're talking about quality kids that want to make a difference. They work hard in school, they're trying to be great athletes, and you know, they compete, but they do it the right way. And every one of these guys, Rob, when you get a chance to talk to them, you just walk away so impressed with who they are becoming.
It's a great matchup in the post with Thawn Maker and Khalif Young. They see each other a lot up at Orangeville Prep.
Well, we're seeing a lot of this guy, Isaiah Mike. He's making an early case for MVP of this game.
Washington, watched closely by Nikhil Alexander-Walker. Fraser has it blocked. Big swat from Thawn Maker.
Yeah, using that length. And you know, he played outstanding in this game last year. He was just scrappy, hard work, getting after it. When you try to get inside, you better go up strong, get to his body, because you give him a little bit of space, he's going to do that.
Now the shot clock expired. 24-second shot clock, no shot. 8 minutes to go, second quarter here in Toronto. The BioSteel All-Canadian game. Rod Black, along with Leo Routens and Kate Burness. Right now, Team Red leading Team White, 41-33. Three-pointer off the front iron and out of bounds. Nate Darling's checking back into the game as they bring out the subs again and again. This is a chance for these coaches to give everybody pretty much equal playing time.
Yeah, and you know, these coaches obviously know these kids from, you know, scouting and a lot of these evaluations for Canada basketball. You know, they understand who these kids are, so these kids are playing for a little bit more, trying to press their all-star coaches, knowing their national team involvement as well.
Washington Jr. free look there, and here comes Thawn Maker, much like his brother Thawn. Look at this guy.
Oh, a little high there.
6'10", handles the rock. Another shot that is short. White just can't make those threes drop right now, and that's why they brought Darling off the bench. We'll see if he gets a little more ball here. And again, another miss at this end.
Slow it down. Use your big fellas right now.
Mike, finger roll. Got it to go.
Just reads the floor extremely well. He's coming down, he sees the situations, and makes good decisions with the ball.
And a baseline violation, Nicola Jogo. Stony Creek, Ontario. Guy who wasn't on the radar, and like we said, is heading off to Notre Dame. Godwin Bowen, who plays at the Hill Academy. And there's another shot by Isaiah Mike. I'll tell you what, he's the MVP in this first half for sure.
And Bowen comes into the game, or you want to find out what good way to get assists, you find Isaiah Mike right now, and good defense there by Juricic.
Darling launches. There's a rare miss. He'll get his own rebound. Throws up an alley-oop for Mike, and when it's hot, but not that time.
Well, and that's a good play. If you get the offensive rebound, go back up with it. You have two guys under the basket. They were fighting for the rebound initially. They're going to have great position.
Bounce pass into Khalif Young, banging away with Maker. Young had it blocked by Juricic.
Excellent help by Juricic. Unfortunately, it looked like Maker fouled prior to that block, but that's one of the things that Juricic does an excellent job of. He's a good help defender, sees the floor extremely well, works, plays the angles, and knows how to block and defend without fouling.
Khalif Young, by the way, may have one of the most famous fathers on the floor. Might not know his real name, Tony Young, but it's Master T, former VJ. There's Thawn Maker, who will not play, unfortunately, in the game tonight. Maybe understandable. Headed to the NBA draft.
Understandable. He's, as I said, he's got to be very selective of every time that he gets involved in any workouts now that he's going to be showcasing for a potential NBA job.
Washington knifes in, and it goes.
Impressive move. Bonus left hand in traffic.
He flies down the floor, Howard Washington Jr.
Yeah, he's got a good floor game.
Rebound up for grabs. Kick back out. Darling lets it go, and no. Nate Darling struggling a little bit from three-point range right now. Last night he could not miss. Rarely misses. There's Washington again. Great stop, and Khalif Young taps it in.
Doing exactly what you want your big man to do. Help goes to the driver. Khalif Young just getting that position and cleaning it up.
Bowen again playing in the Hill Academy. Again, one of the schools that have become like prep schools in the United States, and one in Orangeville, and also the Hill Academy in Brantford, Ontario. A number of players going there now.
Bowen's going to be going to University of Illinois Chicago to play for Steve McLean, and he's going to like that when he gets there. He's said he loves the pace that they play with, and he's going to be hoping to make an impact. First year at UIC.
Going to UIC. When we come back, he'll go to the line as well. Try to make it a three-point play. Team White trying to rally back at the BioSteel All-Canadian game.
My name is Howard Washington, I'm point guard. I attend Athletes Institute, and I'm from Buffalo, New York. My mom is Canadian, born and raised in Canada, Niagara Falls, Ontario. My dad's American. I have dual citizenship. I played with Team Canada a couple years ago in Dubai. My dad obviously wanted me to represent USA. My mom and grandmother wanted me to represent Canada. I'm here a lot. It's where I go to school. This is the country I represent nationally, so I say I'm Canadian. It's an honor, follow footsteps of the guys who are in the past, Wiggins, Tyler Ennis, Steve Nash, all those guys who are represent Canada to the fullest, and hope to follow behind those guys.
You know what the message there is, Leo? Listen to your mom. Listen to your mom.
Well, he considers himself like a second coach on the floor. He really likes to run the show. And he mentioned Tyler Ennis. He does kind of have a Tyler Ennis feel to his game. He's got that kind of thin, lean, but he's explosive. He gets into those seams, and very, very good finishing either hand around the basket. He can shoot the ball. He's missed a few here, but he's got nice form. Just has to make the right decision on the shot, but a guy that runs your team and does it well.
He's got some quicks, and he is a big fan, by the way, of Syracuse, and followed Tyler Ennis and Johnny Flynn and Michael Carter Williams. Naturally living in...
Well, we're not going to do any unofficial recruiting here,
New York. There is Jerome DeRosier.
And DeRosier played very well here last year in the game. And he can shoot the basketball. Another one of those guys that he just knows how to play. Plays the game well, and he's tough.
Out of Montreal, Quebec, but plays at Northfield Mount Herman in Massachusetts. Prep. Khalif Young with a steal here. Washington again.
Big fella stripping the guard.
Khalif Young showed some stuff again in that Jordan Brand Invitational.
And see that pass, Ron? He's always looking. He even says himself, I'm unselfish to a fault. But he does see the floor, and you love bigs that can make plays around the basket, but also kick it out, because we always talk about the great shots you get when you throw it out from the post.
6 feet 9 inch. And again, doesn't get the bounce this time. Here comes Maker once more. Thawn Maker, how about coast to coast? No. Swatted away. Right now, 50-43. On the floor, what a great crossover there, but they couldn't convert from Colby McEwen. Young wanted to shoot. He puts it baseline now and denied.
I like that take. I like to see somebody go strong like that. You got a big in there. Go take it to him. Doesn't matter how long he is.
Jogo stick. Watch this.
Interesting story. Mike Bray was up to actually recruit Thawn Maker. And he got elbowed by Maker, so he had to come out of the scrimmage, and he was sitting there and sitting next to Mike Bray. And they started a conversation. They're talking. After about 15 minutes, Mike Bray says, "You want to come to Notre Dame?" And he said, "Yeah." So that's it. You know, Mike Bray's in town to recruit Thawn Maker, and all of a sudden he signs Nikola Jogo. And as I said earlier, he is kind of a, when you think of Notre Dame and the style of game they play and the type of players they have, he fits.
Big thrill for Jogo to go there. Apparently when Bray called to get the final commitment, Jogo put him on. Kind of joking, said, I don't think I'm going to. And then he heard a pause at the end of the line, and then he said, "Coach, I'm just kidding."
No, he's got a great sense of humor. Also likes to cook. Says spaghetti and meatballs are a specialty.
There he is.
There's some spaghetti and meatballs for you.
Jogo buries it. Team Red opening up a 13-point lead here. Juricic now from St. Mike's. Off to Darling. Back pass. Juricic. Step back three. No. Team White just unable to convert from three-point range, and they'll get the putback this time. And again, it's Isaiah Mike.
Isaiah Mike's like the cleanup guy. He's just always around the ball, always around the basket. Just you like players that just have a feel, a nose for the basketball. And when you watch Isaiah Mike play, that's what he does. He's always around the ball.
Well, if Mike Bray's watching tonight, he's liking what he's seeing from Nikola Jogo, who's going to the bench right now. They'll go to the bench and, again, change things up here. 3 minutes to go here, second quarter. Darling crossover. Corner again for Mike. A lot of iron on this end. Team White. Juricic, corner. And knocking it down from that corner is Javon Blair.
When that play made by Juricic, following up, getting the offensive rebound. You get offensive rebounds, you get great shots. And Javon Blair, he could shoot that shot. I've seen him break games open, knocking down consecutive threes in games. Not afraid to make plays like that.
Khalif Young tried to finesse it on the reverse. Doesn't go. Blair runs the floor. Darling, will he go? Yes! Rattles it home, and don't heat this guy up.
And see, I talk to you about Blair. He's just a heady player. You got a guy like Darling up ahead. Don't waste time dribbling the ball. Kick it up, let him go. And Blair knew he was going to make that shot.
Jalen Llewellyn on the floor, number 3.
Know your teammates, trust your teammates.
Working it hard inside, and Team White now trying to rally here.
See, watch this play.
Darling cuts inside. Mike. No. They'll get the rebound, though, and put it straight up, but they can't. It was blocked by Khalif Young underneath. Brazdeikis to Llewellyn. Little pump fake to the rim, and it goes.
Jalen Llewellyn, he's an exceptional athlete. He's still one of the young guys in this game. And, his dad, Cordell Bobby Llewellyn, played at Wake Forest, when transferred to Rhode Island. He played with Cuttino Mobley, had comparable numbers, but injuries really took him away from the game of basketball. But he's been a great inspiration to his son, Jalen, and Jalen is going to be a special player.
Long range for Darling is off. Over a minute to go here before halftime at the BioSteel All-Canadian. Brazdeikis, that left-handed shot, says his hero growing up. Šarūnas Marciulionis,
yeah, a strong
former
lefty.
NBA Lithuanian. Another
one of the pioneers coming to the NBA.
Oh, and that one won't go in.
On the rim.
Iggy gets his first basket. 58-53 the score. 54 seconds to go before halftime. Nicola Jogo, wouldn't you say he was a cook? Likes to cook?
That's right. Spaghetti and meatballs.
Cooking tonight. Well, 16 points, 7 boards for Isaiah Mike. It's been open mic in this first half for Team White, trailing Team Red 58-49.
I can't say enough about what Isaiah Mike is showing me. The feel, the energy, the athleticism, making shots. Just understands where he needs to be, how he needs to play. And when you bring that kind of intensity coming into a game, it changes the game. You know, one of the plays that almost happened, you know, mentioned that pass by Jamal Murray where he threw it up to Darling. Darling knocked down a 3, and they were coming down the next possession. What did Jamal Murray do? He dribbled into a spot, threw it right back to Darling. Darling didn't end up taking that shot, but you know how many times players don't see the obvious? You got a great three-point shooter, he makes a shot, go right back to him. And that's the kind of player Jamal Murray is. He sees those kind of things on the floor.
Now Strong to the basket. This again is O'Shea Brissett. It's a Saga player.
Yeah, once he gets a step on you, it's over. Because his length, he does a great job of attacking the rim.
It is 60-53, the score a little bit different in here. U of T, but is the correct score, 60-53 with under 30 to play here before halftime. Red team will set it up here for the final shot. There is a differential of 2 seconds shot to game clock, and Jalen Llewellyn, last night's slam dunk champion. See some of the highlights coming up with Cade at halftime. 16-year-old just will be 17 in May. 6 seconds in the half. Strong off the backboard. Team White might get one shot here. Javon Blair lets it go, and it doesn't go. Back and forth first half, though, Leo.
A lot of exciting basketball. We're seeing some good young Canadian players that I've been impressed with their feel for the game, Rod.
Team Red leads by 7. BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game here at Gold Ring High Performance Center, University of Toronto. Seeing some jams, some good shooting, a lot of great play. Young players trying to impress. Look up to the north is what they theme this. And they're looking up here tonight. Kate Burness in halftime coming up.
It is halftime at the BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game, and look who is in attendance. Masai Ujiri potentially scoping out some future Toronto Raptors in this game. Team Red currently up by 7 points at the half. Now, before the big game tonight, Sunday, it was the future All-Canadian game, a 3-point shootout, and the slam dunk competition. We're going to start with the futures game first. It was Emmanuel Miller putting on the show. He was the star, finishing up with a game-high 18 points, leading Team White to a 101-83 victory. He was named MVP of the game. To the Sport Check 3-point shootout, Bedford, Nova Scotia's Nate Darling drained 18 points in the final round, beating out 3 others by just 1 point to take home the title. And of course, the main event, the BMO Slam Dunk Competition opening round, Mississauga, Ontario's Jalen Llewellyn takes the ball to the backboard. Unbelievable move, goes up, gets it for the jam. Jamal Murray just loving it. He throws up a 10 for the first 50 of the day. How could you not? He went to the final. He's joined by Grant Shepard and Isaiah Mike. Shepard representing Kelowna, BC, first to go. Bounces it off the floor and backboard before throwing it down. The two-handed slam. He got a 35 for that. And then, next up, Isaiah Mike from Toronto, Ontario. He lines up 3 people right under the hoop, jumps over all of them for the one-handed slam, earning a 47 from the judges. That was a tough mark to beat. Or was it? The last dunk of the competition, Llewellyn throws it off the wall and then throws down a reverse, earning another perfect score. He had the only 2 50s, and Jalen Llewellyn wins the event. And I am joined by the two champions right now, Nate Darling and Jalen Llewellyn. Gentlemen, welcome. Nate, I'm going to start with you. So you beat 3 other competitors by 1 point. How did you calm your nerves and just knock down those shots?
Well, I knew it was going to come down to the wire because of all the great competitors in the competition. So to win by 1 was pretty cool, but the whole time I was just hoping they didn't hit that last shot. I was happy to come away with the W.
Now we see a change in the game of basketball right now with Steph Curry just jacking up threes, making these unbelievable shots. Do you kind of model your game after Steph?
Well, I model my game after all good shooters, you know, just getting in the gym, putting up reps, but to see a guy like that do the things he does at his size, you know, it's good for me to go out there and model what he does.
All right, Jalen, over to you now. Let's talk about that first dunk. Whose idea was it to actually put the ball, tape the ball right onto the backboard?
It wasn't actually my idea. It was my coach, Coach Tony. He gave me the idea. I was like, I don't know if that's going to work, but I guess it did.
And it was just like double-sided tape that you threw on there?
It was actually Velcro.
Oh, Velcro.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great idea. Now, I got to ask, the second dunk off the wall and in, were you scared going into the final round that you could pull that one off?
I actually wasn't, because that was one of the dunks that I've been practicing for a long time. I've been able to do it for a while, and it's been one of my favorite dunks to do, so I had to pull it out. All
right, Jalen, Nate, congratulations. Good luck in the second half of this basketball game. We are loving it right now, and so are all these fans at the Gold Ring Center in downtown Toronto. Team Red currently up by 7 points at the half. Much more coming up after the break. Well, the Stars have come out at the second annual BioSteel All-Canadian Basketball Game. We saw Jamal Murray earlier, DeMar DeRozan, who will be joining me on set a little later on, and this is still weird to say. Chad Owens of the Hamilton Tiger Cats also taking in the action. He was here last year, and of course, just loving it this year. Now, we mentioned Jamal Murray earlier. He was with the guys. He, of course, was the MVP last year, going on to the NBA now. And we're looking at Isaiah Mike, even though his team is down by 7 with 16 points, a potential candidate for MVP at the end of this game. With more on the first half, let's send it over to Rod and Leo.
All right, thank you, Kate. Yeah, he's had a great first half, as some other players have, and usually it's the guys who can step up in the third quarter, so we'll see what's going to happen. But from both sides, there were some guys interested in that MVP honor here tonight.
And they're doing it the right way. They're just playing good, solid team basketball. When you look at Khalif Young, he's making an impact in this game for the red team, moving without the basketball. He takes up a lot of space. He knows how to finish. You love a big that runs the floor, plays above the rim, and he's just so active. He's not waiting for shots to be missed. He's anticipating missed shots, and this was a big play right here, taking it down with the left hand.
Isaiah Mike, a couple of years ago, Leo, at Ryerson, there was an NBA America's team camp, and he's no stranger to winning MVP honors. He was the MVP of that game.
Well, you know, you can see his ability to just put the ball on the floor and explode. He's got 16 points in 17 minutes on the floor, and he showed us a little bit of everything, inside, outside, and I just like his activity. He's one of those guys just makes things happen.
60-53 at the half, so a lot of points in that first half. Team White 3 of 6. It took a while for Team White to find their range from 3.
Yeah, and you know they gotta try to continue to use that quickness. Players like Isaiah Mike driving that ball to the basket, see if they can get to the rim. Not shooting the ball great as a team, so find other ways to score and also get points out of your defense. Put up the pressure.
Saw some jitters as well early going. I think you're going to see the team settle a little bit, maybe even defensively. It could come down to a really good close one. What this game does, though, is it's also a launching pad. Teams are already and players are already committed as we move forward. But here's what some of the grads from last year's BioSteel All-Canadian game did this past season.
Yeah, one of the players that last year I remember just really jumped out at me. Just loved his energy, the way he played the game, his enthusiasm, was Jalen Poyser, and he had a great season at UNLV this year, and I look for big things from him. He's just an explosive player that plays with an edge, and you like those guys. Corey Johnson had 74 threes at Harvard, playing for Tommy Amaker. Kyle Alexander at Tennessee. Just so many players right now that are making an impact, and it's just fun to watch. I mean, you're just seeing more and more players playing this game.
Something that wasn't around when you were playing, something that wasn't even around 10 years ago, but you can point to the Raptors, you can point to the growth of basketball. It's great to have this game and to see so many scouts and so many players doing well. Kate can't wait for the second half.
No, I can't either, Rod. Thank you very much. And a lot of people expecting to see Thawn Maker tonight and potentially hoist that MVP trophy. Thawn is right beside me. He will be speaking to me next as we continue with the BioSteel All-Canadian Game. A potential future star in the NBA, Thawn Maker, listed at 7'1", 255 pounds. We saw him play in the BioSteel All-Canadian Game last year and opting not to go to the NCAA, instead right to the NBA. He declared on April the 4th that he will be in the draft this year. As we welcome in Thawn. Thawn, thank you for taking the time to sit with us. And right off the bat, I have to ask you, why the decision not to play in the game tonight?
Ever since I declared, decided to declare, I have to really think about getting ready for the next level. And for me, I've been getting ready. I've been going through the workouts. I just came back from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and just working out there with a few of the guys, Drew Hanlon. So, it's basically just getting my body right and trying to get ready.
So we know all the big schools that were attempting to recruit you. I know Indiana was really in the mix at one point. Why the decision not to go to the NCAA, develop your game a little bit more, and then jump to the NBA? Why jump right to the pros?
Well, for me, it has always been a dream of mine, to make it to the NBA, and I always thought, why not? After I got the go-ahead that I was okay to do it, I decided, it's a no-brainer. I just went ahead with it.
What do you think you need to work on specifically to take your game from where it is right now to the NBA?
I definitely need to get stronger. I'm working on that, and just got to think that this is a grown man's game.
It certainly is, as we watch it year in, year out. Now we get to see your brother play in this game. What do you like about Mature's game so far, and how far he has come, especially over the last year, because we saw him play in this game last year as well?
Well, he's going so much better. He's been playing, he's been working hard, he got bigger, and he's so aggressive. He'll never lose that. And I see it tonight, he had to guard the 5. He's a little quicker. He's better guarding the guards. He plays the guard position. We haven't played the 1 this year. So, he's improved well. He's working on his ball handling every single day.
All right, well, thank you very much, Thawn. As mentioned, we really appreciate you sitting down with us, and we can't wait to watch the NBA draft, and fingers crossed that you get selected in that first round. So congratulations on all your success.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. The first half action in the bank at the BioSteel All-Canadian Game. There is Thawn's younger brother, Mature Maker, hopefully in a couple of years, joining him in the NBA. Team Red leading Team White 60-53. Second half action coming up on TSN at the BioSteel All-Canadian Game. But first, let's head back to Rod and Leo.
All right, thank you so much, Kate. Fascinating to listen to Thawn Maker. In fact, you know that commercial, The World's Most Interesting Man? He has been the world's most interesting basketball player in Canada over the last 4 or 5 months because of the possibilities. And you see Mature in all of the colleges that were drooling over Thawn Maker, and there were, 2-player packages. Indiana was offering Thawn Maker a ride, as well as Mature a ride. They wanted both of them together, but now that's obviously not in the offing because Thawn is declared. What do you think about the decision, and where do you think Thawn Maker's going to go in the draft?
Well, first of all, it has to be 100% that decision can be followed through with the NBA. The rule is you have to be 19 and a year removed from high school. Now, will they count prep school as being a year removed? That's the one thing you're kind of waiting to find out about. But, I think here's the thing. The NBA is about potential. You look at all these players getting drafted young, and, he's already getting the makeup on, so he's getting
ready for draft.
But, it's potential. So there's a lot of players that are not necessarily ready to play, but I think what's going to impress the NBA scouts, when you get a player with his length, his quickness, his ability to shoot the ball in individual workouts, and teams can really tap into that and see the potential, I think he's going to impress a lot of people.
Nikola Jogo impressed us in the first half, and he comes out firing. 7-point lead, red to white. Isaiah Mike back pass as he was fouled as he was slashing into the paint.
And there's a small thing right there, but Mike, when he turned into the middle, And he left to go. He knew where his teammate was. He just flipped it behind his head because he has that awareness. He just knows what's happening on the floor. And that's something that you can teach a lot of things, but that the guy that comes into your program in college that has that, boy, it makes it a lot easier.
Baseline. Thawn Maker can't make that. And a rebound again. Emmanuel Acott. Thawn's younger brother. Couple of inches smaller, but he's got those moves low post.
And that's what I want to see. I love it when a big guy, you can put the ball on the floor and you can shoot shots, but when you're big, I want to see you play big around the basket. And you can't forget that aspect of your game when you have size. A lot of times players don't develop that part of it. And it's not about being a post-up player. It's about taking advantages on the floor.
Great defense by Mature, by the way, on Khalif Young. And now Washington alley-oop, and down it goes. Nikola Jogo.
That's just good basketball. Jogo gave it up knowing he was going to get it back.
Juricic. You like when I say St. Mike's, don't you?
Absolutely.
Just like the same way we say Syracuse. Oh, Isaiah Mike. Dropping it down big time, the hammer dunk.
And you know what, Rod, I have to take a second here. St. Mike's lost one of its great coaches and great people. Dan Prendergast passed away this past year, and he was one of the great coaches in high school basketball, not only in Toronto but in Canada. And it's a sad day for everybody.
Such a great mentor to that program through the years. Rogier tried to dish it off quickly, but Isaiah Mike, how about the game this guy is having? Points, 8 rebounds in the game.
Good defense there by Jogo.
Jogo reset with the flush.
It's transition basketball. Jogo with the block, gets the ball, kicks it out ahead to Brissett. And, that's good transition basketball. Don't waste time with the dribble. Look up ahead, but there's a little lapse defensively. Nembhard sneaking in for the offensive rebound.
Well, we thought they might tighten up defensively early in the third quarter here. The reverse has proven true. Bit of a track meet. Dunk contest going on here early in the third. Now O'Shea Brissett back out.
Dish.
And there was a whistle, no basket. Jogo stepped on the out of bounds line right in front of that Team Red bench.
Here's Jogo giving it up, knowing he's going to get it back from Howard Washington Jr. Excellent pass. And then Isaiah Mike doing what he's doing all game. Throwing it down. Great drive down the middle.
Maker spinning. Defense from,
I'll tell you what,
set underneath, but couldn't stop Maker.
Brissett did everything he could, and Maker just imposed his will. And I love that follow-up, getting that rebound and going right back, showing some toughness. That's what he showed last year in this game that impressed me.
And Thawn Maker opened up a lot of eyes. Everybody came to see Thawn and Jamal Murray. And how about the start here for O'Shea Brissett?
That jumper's looking smooth tonight.
Rangy four-man. Offers from Arizona State, Boston College, Oklahoma, and a couple of others. And a lot of these players still undecided. Maker just throws it up. It's an 8-point game right now. Jogo, quick dish to Young. Tried to get it to bounce off of Team White.
Khalif Young, you can tell his conditioning is really, really good, man. He just gets up and down the floor. See, it's not easy working with different guys.
It is. Yeah, see, there you go.
I need you here. I need you around me.
There you go. Khalif Young can't get the rebound. Nembhard. Juricic. Hauled in the corner there. Back out here. Oh, and that's an up and down. Traveling call. Isaiah Mike thought there was going to be somebody up in his face. There wasn't. Try to put it back on the deck.
Had a good shot, too. Good opportunity to take the jumper as well as he's been playing.
Great chance for these young Canadians last couple of years. Show their stuff in front of the scouts, NBA and college. Still very raw, many of them, but already taking great strides and being noticed.
Well, that's what's making all these coaches, they're looking at these players and they see the massive potential and what they're going to be capable of doing. And the one thing you want to see is the attitude. Are you going to work? What am I getting? And that's what I said. You look at James Derwin and Dave DeVero, and they just love the attitude that these guys have brought to the table here. And Brissett, nice job of getting back, using those long arms of his. And he's a player that, he fits into the mold of today's game. Versatile, plays up and down, inside out.
Over and back violation. Team White continuing to try to nibble back here. They had a brief lead in the first half. Ugak right to the rack, and he'll go to the line and try to make it a three-point play. Here Ugak from Edmonton, was born in Egypt to Sudanese parents, emigrated to Edmonton, plays at Harry Ainley High School.
And that was a strong move. Great job of using his body, protecting the ball, shoulder to the defender.
He's only played basketball, Leo, the last couple of years. Was a football player before that, but obviously tremendously athletic.
You can tell with the shoulder on that play. He is strong and aggressive.
Nembhard lobbing it in. Look out now. Thawn Maker is going to go to the line and shoot two.
Yeah, Nembhard, good feel right there. You see your big fella running, get in position, just throw it down there and let him do his work. And Nembhard has got a very understated game. There's not a lot of flash. It's just substance. He just plays the game the right way. He's got a great high school coach, and Gus Gymnopoulos, who's assisting James Derwin here tonight on the bench for the Red. And Gus has really taught him how to play well. He just does. You want a player that he understands what his role is. He's a point guard. He's got to get people to basketball. He takes the shots when they're there. He keeps the defense honest. But for a young player, I really am impressed with his disposition.
On secondary school, Voyageurs, and
heads up play by Jogo.
Brasdikis nails it, and it's a three-pointer.
See, that's where you get those alert plays by Jogo. You get easy buckets, and with Brasdikis, he can miss some shots early. Don't think that's going to let it affect the rest of his game. He does not get bothered by some early misses. He believes the next shot he takes is going in, and so does this guy right here, Danilo Juricic. He was one of the best three-point shooters for the Canadian team in the World Qualifier last year.
Great reverse lay-in by Markel Fraser.
The Red team does a nice job of just coming right back at you.
They deflate you totally now. Maker strong inside, had it blocked. And then a thunder jam underneath from Thawn Maker. With a lap on the way back.
A couple of those second effort plays. Get a block, get a miss. He comes right back at you. It doesn't matter.
7 points, 6 rebounds. He throws the pass to Mike, just hurls it over there. Nembhard, the great tenor, just 16 years old. Rebound underneath. And a foul in the paint.
Juricic doing a nice job. Danilo getting that offensive rebound. He's always around the basket. He loves to get offensive rebounds. Does a good job of getting to the free throw line once he's got the basketball.
Subs both sides now. Maker's going down. So too is Isaiah Mike.
A lot of these guys have, really know each other very, very well from playing AAU basketball. You look at Brasdikis, Danilo. They played together last summer. They'll be playing again this summer.
These players go to the same
and again
high
playing
schools.
For Canada as well too.
And for Canada, and what a great opportunity last summer. Many of them played for the silver medal winning side in Argentina. Brasdikis decides to take it. A little too strong on that shot. Washington signals now for a kick here from Longpre. Gives it to Longpre, and a swat from behind there from Nembhard. Otherwise, that was an easy lay-in for Anthony Longpre. 76-72, close one here. Thawn Maker. Rim record. The BioSteel All-Canadian game.
I'm O'Shea Brissett. I'm a small forward. I go to Findlay Prep out of Nevada, and I'm from Mississauga, Ontario. My freshman year at Findlay, I fractured my knee, and it took me out for the rest of the season. I went up to just dunk it, and when I extended my leg, my knee just snapped in like midair. There was a whole bunch of thoughts going through my head. Just, would I ever play again? Like, what really happened? I was hoping for the best. I was just happy that I was able to come back from it.
Well, that knee's holding up all right. You can see where's that wrap on it, but O'Shea Brissett, 16 points in this game. The Mississauga, Ontario native, Findlay Prep in Nevada, and a number of offers right now.
Hey, if I'm a college coach, I'm going to be knocking on this kid's door all night long. I really like his game.
Strong to the basket. And a block there at the rim on Brazdeikis, but they call it a foul here, Ugak.
Thought it was a pretty good recovery by Ugak, but just couldn't get that. Didn't get the call, but I thought it was a pretty good effort on his part. Brazdeikis, nice job of running. But when you look at, going back to Brissett, I mean, what's not to like about his game? And, for the collegiate level, I mean, a guy with so much athleticism and plays with that energy, he can shoot the basketball, runs the floor, and defensively, he likes to get after you, and he's got great length. So, a player that, again, if I was a college coach, I would be all over this guy.
Godwin Bowen will run the point here for Team White. Last time they led first quarter. Down 5 right now. And you're right about the red side. Every time Team White creeps closer, they just extend that lead. Shot clock's at 5. Juricic nails it. Sharpshooter, Danilo Juricic.
Yeah, and he's sneaky too, because he's just going to keep playing a game, and you got a tendency to kind of forget about him in a game like this, but don't, because he can make big shots, and he will continue to play, knows where to get those shots, and he's got a lot of confidence in his jumper.
Over and back violation, and another chance here for Team White.
I saw him play a lot over the summertime, and everywhere he played, I had college coaches coming up, and they just loved his game. Very fundamentally sound.
There he is again, and stuck by the rim that time. A little too tight, and Fraser
is getting after it defensively. He's getting up against the bigs and the guards. VCU is going to like this kid.
Fraser spins, low post, fade away. Swooping in for the rebound.
And there, look at Fraser right up on the ball.
Bowen, all net. Team White now has a 1-point lead, first lead since the first quarter.
He's got a lot of confidence. I asked him the other day, say, can you shoot? He goes, oh yeah, I can shoot.
Longpre has an open J and knocks it down.
This is another guy. Longpre, you talk about a confident player. He'll tell you, hey, I'll go inside, outside, pick and pop. I have that kind of a game.
Going off to Juricic, who's really stepped it up here.
That's a good pass right there.
Nate Darling can't make it go, and again gets that rebound. Back into the corner. Another three-point attempt. No. And running the floor now is Llewellyn. Oh, a pump play. And that fake won't work. Back over, and again end-to-end here, but a scrappy play now is Brazdeikis. Little baby hook baseline on a runner. Ball just won't go for either side right now with 3:20 to go in the third quarter.
So you hit these little patches. You want to slow it down and try to get something out of your offense, set a few screens, and get something easy.
Bowen waits for the screen from Grant Shepard. There it is. Shot clock at 1, and shot clock expired.
Got to get to your offense just a little bit quicker there. Bowen, as a point guard, you want to make sure you understand the clock and get to where you need to be.
Well, everybody getting some touches here. Everybody joining the party. It's a close one now. 1-point lead. Team Red over White at the BioSteel All-Canadian game in Toronto.
Danilo Juricic. I'm a forward from St. Michael's College School in Toronto, and my hometown is Brampton, Ontario. I say I have a high basketball IQ when it comes to passing, knowing where I am on the court, what plays to make at the right time. One of my idols is actually a tennis player, Novak Djokovic, the #1 tennis player in the world from Serbia. The type of person he is, definitely, but also the athlete he is.
Danilo Juricic, whose heritage is also Serbian and Montenegrin, and boy, he can play, this young man.
Yeah, obviously, you know, as a fellow St. Mike's guy, as an alum, I got to see him play a lot. And last year they were 48-1. They were OPSA champions in Ontario, and this year they won the bronze medal, a younger team, but Danilo has been the leader, and boy, what a career he's had at St. Mike's, and still got a long way to go.
He likes the Joker, Novak Djokovic.
Playing for Jeff Zauner at St. Mike's.
Brasdikis. You know, you look at the game, and everybody's talked about the growth in Canada, but you look at all of these players, and you know their heritage and where they come from, and so many players from around the world. Really, that's contributed in Canada to so many players being able to play the game. Families that have immigrated here. And
yeah, I mean, they don't realize basketball's big in those countries. I mean, Serbia, Croatia, basketball's huge there. Great job by Jalen Llewellyn in transition, finding Brasdikis. You know, Lithuania, that's a national sport in Lithuania, and you know, all Lithuanian kids play. That's how I started playing basketball, being Lithuanian in Toronto. Everybody's playing hockey. Lithuanian kids, we're balling. We're down at the Church of the Resurrection playing basketball, and this is just good transition hoops right here. Jalen Llewellyn with the find. Brasdikis running the floor
to make it a three-point play.
Yeah, and Iggy, here's a guy that, you know, he likes to get to the free throw line. He will find a way of drawing fouls and scoring in traffic.
He got a chance to go back to Lithuania recently, and you know, you talked about Sarunas Marciulionis, and he actually went to the academy where Marciulionis grew up, and must have been a thrill for him being in the same place where his hero played.
Yeah, he said it was a great trip. Really had a wonderful time.
Brasdikis and Maker know each other well.
See, that was a good job by Brasdikis. Challenged by the bigger, taller Maker, holding his ground.
Think of them chatting up each other, a couple of smiles. Kids are playing hard, though. Emmanuel Aycott.
Well, they're working hard defensively. That's what I like.
Aycott, jumper, lofts, and it's a two-pointer.
Yeah, you're talking about another guy that's got a good athletic body, and if he can shoot that shot like that, boy.
Brasdikis with the right hand that time, and Khalif Young makes his presence felt in the paint once again here.
A big fella comes in the game, and he just makes things happen around the bucket.
83-80 red. Minute and a half here in the third quarter.
Khalif Young gambling a little bit with the hands, but I also like the idea of a big guy not being afraid to get out, not being afraid to come up past the top of the key and challenge offensive players. Just don't reach.
Jogo comes back in the game. Underneath for Aycott, and he can't make it.
Just rush that.
Nice chippy.
Just go up strong. Don't need to rush it.
Oh, what a big block by Maker.
Got to get rid of that ball.
Javon Blair now takes it strong, left-handed, but he's fouled, and he'll go to the line and shoot a pair.
And that's just Javon Blair right there, knowing he can draw the foul on that play. At the other end, need to get rid of the basketball, not try to force plays. Maker, quick off his feet. Just so long, creates problems.
Well, the two brothers themselves. It's a fascinating story, really a made-for-TV miniseries. That family in war-torn Sudan moved to Australia, to the States, eventually up to Orangeville at the Athlete Institute where they play. Minute to go here, third quarter. Khalif Young again.
Nice pass, Alexander. You know, I mentioned the last time he had the ball, he should have given it up. This time, excellent delivery. Down low.
Shepard waits for Maker. Trying to dribble through Young. Ball on the floor, and Khalif Young has it. The bounce pass to Brasdikis. Brasdikis wants to drive on Maker. Now nobody there. Gilgeous Alexander. Shea now, strong to the basket, but right into a bunch of bodies in the paint.
He's athletic, and I mentioned earlier that, you know, he's got some bounce, and even his teammates, you know, when you got a whole bunch of athletes and other guys are going, hey, check him out, he can fly, and he's got that nice first step drawing the foul.
Shea Gilgeous Alexander will be a Gator, committed to the University of Florida.
going to be playing for Mike White at Florida. And he said, I like the way they play transition basketball, use the pick and rolls. He goes, I can play in that game. And Jamal Blair, wow, nice read. He saw that nobody was paying attention, took advantage of it. Brzezinski is coming right back the same way.
This is a 4x100, isn't it? Wow. 16 seconds. Shot clock is off now. So Jamal Blair is going to try to set it up. Colby McEwen right up in his face here. 7 seconds in the quarter. Blair now is fouled by Gilgeous-Alexander.
Craftiness that Blair has. He's just got a knack for, you know, drawing fouls, getting you to, he can bait you. He's just got a little bit of a flair to it. You talk to him, ask him about his game, he goes, I'm smooth. Smooth game.
Last second shot won't go from Javon Blair. He is smooth. These kids are smooth. 3 quarters down, close one, 5-point game, 89-84, Team Red over Team White. Look up to the north, look up high near the rim because they've been slamming everything in sight here tonight. Red leads the Whites as we head to the 4th. Gold Ray Institute for Sport, University of Toronto, and the BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game. Assistant coach for Team Red, Gus Gymnopoulos, who's spent a lot of time, I guess like his name, in the gym. Yeah. Team Red.
Coach Yvonne's secondary, coaches Andrew Nemhard, of course, Coach Andrew Wiggins. And, you know, tough situation is here, you know, suspended by the OABO, Ontario Association of Basketball Referees, and, you know, really, in my opinion, a very unfair suspension, and it had to go to Ontario Supreme Court. It was overruled, and it was great to see him back. You got to look at the coach. He's done such a great job with those kids. He deserved to be on the sidelines.
As has Paul Melnick on the other side.
Paul Melnick, congratulations to him. Henry Carr won their first OFSA championship, and, you know, Paul's an old school guy. I mentioned Dan Prendergast earlier. He learned his game from John Petrushak at Runnymede, and, you know, you got these roots in Ontario and Toronto basketball, and Paul Melnick is one of the guys that has really taken from that. Also said, you know, he takes a lot from, you know, Dean Smith at North Carolina, tries to put a lot of that into his game and his teams, and all his teams play hard. Boy, they come after you, and again, congratulations on winning his first OFSA this year.
So 4th quarter underway. It's a 5-point game here. Red over White, so a lot to be decided. Who will win the game mostly, but also MVPs, and the Thawn Maker picking up his offense in this second half. Khalif Young lost the basketball. Isaiah Mike owned the first half, but not so much in the second. And now that's a little bit long, and Khalif Young gobbles up the rebound and gives it off to Jogo. Jogo and Jerome DeRosier.
That's a pretty good group on the floor here for the Red. DeRosier, Jogo, Khalif Young. You got some toughness and some guys that'll move that basketball.
Blair, a couple of crossovers into the paint.
See, he's got this poise, man. He just knows how to play. Handling that basketball, he'll make some tough shots in the lane as well.
Showed it a couple of years ago in the Jordan Brand Invitational. He was the MVP 2014. Young, post move, left-hand hook shot, high and off the bank with a kiss.
He's playing against Maker, who's got length, didn't allow him to use his length, got the body right into his chest, and then went up with that shot off the glass.
Maker now just elbows DeRosier, then lost it. Jogo on the fly here, and he's fouled, and Jogo on the floor.
Jogo's got some jets. I mean, this guy will run the floor. They get up and down.
You don't think Mike Bray's got a good one?
Well, and Mike Bray told him, he said, you're going to play the 1, 2, the 3 for me, because when they go small ball, he said, I'm going to use you in a lot of different ways. And so Jogo's really excited about that.
Hamilton area kid, Stony Creek. Jogo will inbound here, and this is a guy who wasn't even on the radar a couple of years ago. Suddenly got a lot of offers.
Get in the
last
gym
minute
and working your game. They will find you.
O'Shea Brissett.
Away with a walk.
Yeah, it looked like a travel. And he will get the benefit of a foul. And that's a question I guess I have for you now. You know, so many of these young players, so many scouts now looking north of the border. What's your advice to them? Because, you know, a lot of them make mixtapes, and there's obviously videos, you know, and a lot of it has to do with coaches and teams. What's your best advice to a young player who may be watching who aspires to get to this level?
Well, there's so many opportunities today as far as how to play, where to play, you know, club ball, AAU ball, whatever you want to call it. There's so many opportunities for kids to play. So get involved. Look at the programs. There's so many programs that can be, you know, fit for you. And the big thing is, you know, this. I've warned kids sometimes. There's so many scouting services that you charge you an awful lot of money. If I'm a college coach and you put together a tape and a letter that says, hey, coach, I'm going to look at that. I don't know necessarily how many coaches, if they get 100 tapes from scouting services, how many they really can take a look at a personal letter that says, hey, I'm really interested in your program. I think that goes a long way, but there's so many opportunities. If you work hard, you play hard, you play the right way at your high school, on your club team, you're going to be seen today. Guaranteed, because coaches are looking everywhere.
Bounce pass for Young. Team Red opening up the lead again, 94-86. Young again. Once again, another foul. I think that's great advice that you just had. And keep in mind that for a lot of players playing CIS ball, playing in Europe is out there.
That's another option that I think a lot of kids, you know, the CIS ball gets better and better. There's some great coaches in the CIS. And, you know, a lot of kids sometimes get enamored with the idea of going south, and it's not always the best situation. Sometimes kids will go to schools you never heard of before just to go. And there's some better opportunities not only to play basketball but get a great education by playing in the CIS. So I think you really got to look at it and don't just go just to go someplace. Make it the best situation for you to develop as an athlete, a basketball player, and as a student.
Isaiah Mike tried to hammer it down. Ball on rim that time. Still showed hustle to get it back. Juricic trying to scoot into the paint, couldn't. Javon Blair will settle it down here. Shot clock's at 10. Look at the big guy, Khalif Young, right out on Javon Blair. They know each other.
That's impressive.
You got Orangeville Prep and Athlete Institute, and again,
coaches get excited when you see a big guy not afraid to get out and challenge like that. And what a pass there by Alexander. But the Red's digging in. Red is digging in defensively, and they're getting some great opportunities at the other end of the floor.
Big collision here at the rim.
Going up strong, though. Brissett, that's that length I was talking about earlier. He's quick off his feet, not afraid to get up. But going back to, you know, if you want to impress a coach, if you're a big, and you're not afraid to move your feet, you know, the game, you just look at the pro game today, pick and rolls, high pick and rolls, side pick and rolls. How many bigs get caught because they're not moving their feet, they're not getting out and coming up on the guard. Guys like Khalif Young, if you can show that you're not afraid, boy, coaches get excited about that.
Von Blair wants to work a play here. Now, keep in mind, these players haven't had a lot of time to work anything out under any system. They've been here for a couple of days.
But they've been playing pretty well together, though.
Yes, they have. And another foul, and back to the line. Team White will go. Uguak again. Shoot free throws here.
Uguak's done a really nice job. I think Craig Neal's going to be excited about his prospects at New Mexico. You know, he's an active player, and you can just see that, you know, he's got so much natural skill, athleticism, and he does some things very, very well. Once he really starts getting coached and really start learning the game, he's got an opportunity to be a special player.
7 points, 3 rebounds for Ahir Uguak from Edmonton. Howard Washington back in to run the point for Team Red. DeRosier trying to get it to Jogo. Great defense here from Team White. They're trying to lock down Team Red here. Shot clock at 5. Baseline. Isaiah Mike with the foul.
Brissett knew what to do as soon as he got that ball. He saw an angle, and as soon as that ball got to his hands, he put that ball down going to the basket. He's got a nice mix to his game. You know, earlier we saw him shoot jump shots, and a lot of times, especially in games like this, guys will make a few shots and they'll just keep shooting jumpers. You know, I'm rolling, I'm going to shoot jumpers, and that's not the way he plays. And, you know, that's one of the things that jumps out at me. If he's got a drive, he's taking a drive. He's got the shot, he'll take the shot, but he's making the right decision on the floor, not just doing what he wants to do. He's taking what the defense gives him. And, you know, Rod, that's a tough thing with a lot of young players. when you have so much talent and you're playing, you feel like you can do anything you want. And I've seen players really get hurt in their development just because they do what they want to do. They're not doing the right thing. They're doing what they want to do because they can. They have the talent. But to be disciplined enough to do the right thing, that's when you develop as a player and making good decisions.
Rattling it home. Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Now DeRosier straight to the basket. Big time jam from Jerome DeRosier.
Sneaky hops. You don't expect that from DeRosier. He got up on that play. Red pushing the ball.
Red pushing the ball up and DeRosier throwing it down.
There, big fella.
Man, 99-90.
My name's Ahir Uguag. I'm a 6'7" guard. I go to school at Harry Ainley High School, and my hometown is Edmonton, Alberta. I got a cousin in the NBA. My cousin in the NBA is Luol Deng from the Miami Heat. People say we shoot the same, but I don't know. I don't see it. I don't see similarities. He's in the NBA. I'm still here. One of my greatest achievements is committing to New Mexico and becoming a Lobo.
Well, this future Lobo shining bright here tonight. Luol Deng would be
have a chance to watch Uncle Deng play some good basketball with Chris Bosh out. He's been at that 4 spot, and that's what part of the reason that Miami's been playing really good basketball. They're one of the more dangerous teams that the Cavaliers might have to face in that second round.
99-90. DeRosier can't make it the three-point play, and Team White again has to play comeback here. Great steal.
All right, Brissett is just doing a lot of good things in this game.
Jogo. Well, Shea Brissett is playing like Isaiah Mike did in the first half.
Yeah, absolutely right.
Mike was the MVP candidate in the first half. He's only had 1 point in the second. Brissett's got the game-high 20 right now. Javon Blair trying to lead the comeback again for the White side.
Yeah, Javon Blair has also had a very solid second half here.
DeRosier wanted to take it. Now he'll drive and almost blocked there by Maker. Tiptoed along the baseline. Nicely by Jogo. Washington now takes a look to the left side and then a nice little finger roll inside, but couldn't make that drop.
Yeah, Howard Washington Jr., he's just smooth. He's just got this easiness about his game, and he gets to where he wants to on the floor. He's missed a couple of bunnies, but you just like the way he sees those opportunities, and he can get to where he wants to get to.
Washington just 3 of 13, but just a heads-up player. Not this time.
Just struggling, you know, just like last year, struggling with his shot, but what a full game is solid. Hey, there you go.
Thawn Maker. Down floor to Javon Blair, and what an assist that time from the big guy.
Well, the big guy's had some nice passes in this game. Had some good ones early, and that was a good find right there.
Well, like last year, so many people came to see Thawn Maker. And a fascination as Brissett.
Oh, boy, he turned right back in. But Thawn Maker said, hey, take that, big fella.
You might be looking at the MVP of this game, and Shea Brissett. Uguay. Jogo. Up the floor. Almost picked off. DeRosier. Left hand. Nice defense that time. Nate Darling. They'd love to get Nate Darling heated up here, and then Juricic as well. Feeding it inside, down low.
White team getting some good passing plays right here. Maker just a long bounce pass, and you know that was right on the money to Javon Blair, who's had a big second half here, and I like the way these guys are playing together and looking for one another.
Thawn Maker jumps out to get that ball in the inbounds, and it looks like he's going to shoot.
Yeah, and see that's just a guy saying, hey, I'm going inside. We got to win this game. I got to get in there, and I got to try to make something happen. And for a guy that doesn't have a lot of bulk, slight build, he gets after it. He's not afraid to mix it up.
Well, again, Thawn Maker, younger brother of Thawn, who not playing, is on this BioSteel All-Canadian team, but Next thing we might hear from Thawn Maker is that he is drafted in the NBA.
Hey, those individual workouts become so important for those players. And boy, nice follow-up by Khalif Young. First of all, good drive by Washington. As I said, he gets to where he wants to on the floor. Khalif Young doesn't stand around and watch. He gets right to that place to get the offensive rebound that he needs to be.
There's another candidate, Leo. 9 boards in the game. Khalif Young, 18 points in the game, and a couple of big jams as well.
No, just a fundamentally sound game. And, you know, talk about him moving his feet a lot in his game, being aggressive, playing without the basketball, getting to his spots, and almost every missed shot when he's on the floor. If you're in the white, you better find this guy. He's going after every one, and he's had way too many opportunities to follow up his team's misses.
There's a thick body underneath, and he's got some motion to him.
You know, I had a good conversation with him, and he said, hey, I'm really working on my fitness. I'm really working on my body. I want to get leaner. And if you look at the game today, Rod, there's not a lot of these big, bulky guys. They are strong, but they are lean and quick. And that's one of the things for all the young players out there. If you give up an ounce of quickness to get bigger, you can't play this game today. Brasdeikis finishes either hand, right or left.
Iggy again. Right to the window. Under 6 to play here. 10-point lead for Team Red. 24 of Canada's best high school eligible players. Many going to the NCAA with commitments. Many making decisions. Including this guy, Iggy Brasdeikis. Got some game.
My name is Ignas Brasdeikis. I go to ODSS. I'm a shooting guard, and I'm from Oakville, Ontario. I was born in Lithuania and moved around a lot. I moved from Lithuania to Chicago, to Winnipeg, to Etobicoke, and finally Oakville. Making this event was huge for me. It's like probably one of the biggest accomplishments in my life.
Huge Lithuanian community in Chicago, and that's one of the reasons that his family made the stop. His dad's Sig. His dad's a big dude, man. His dad pumps iron, and he's got Iggy lifting weights all the time. And you know what's kind of cool, Rod? During the course of this game, there's been some tweets. I get some text. Nice move again on cue. Iggy throwing the bucket with the right hand. You know, guys saying, hey, is that Llewellyn? Is that Bobby's kid? Somebody else saying, hey, is that Darling? Is that Jason's son? You know, he played at SMU. It's amazing how many people are reaching out, trying to identify with some of these kids out there.
How about Juricic from long range? And Team White needs this right now.
Yeah, don't be surprised. Juricic will keep shooting that shot, and he'll make it.
Oh, and a steal now. And once again, it's Sahir Ugwak. Foul there. So that a couple of things that tells me that you're getting all of these tweets. So you're Mr. Social media, and you play with a lot of people.
Yeah, and you know what, people, you know,
and it's a close community.
It is. You know, basketball. The one thing I have found, Rod, from traveling around the world and playing this game, the bigger this, the more you travel, the more you go, the smaller this world is. You run into more people.
Oh, Javon Blair.
They just turned around and gave a little point to Jamal Murray on the sideline. I said, I got you, big fella.
And Jamal on the sideline, last year's MVP, went to Kentucky. Soon be heading to the NBA as well. And well, there was a late whistle there. That's a foul. And Kobe McEwen will shoot here. Well, we talk about the BioSteel all-Canadian game, and there's the king of BioSteel. That's the man who invented it. Matt Nickel, the founder of BioSteel.
Well, and they are everywhere. I mean, the Raptors training facility.
The Raptors training facility
is unbelievable.
Is unbelievable.
And you go up to Orangeville, and you look at the Athlete Institute, and I walked through there the other day. What a great opportunity, you know, for a kid to be able to stay in Canada. And some of the options right now created with the prep league here in Ontario for these kids to place like, you know, Orangeville Prep, where you have such great facilities and you're going to play against great competition. So a chance to stay home.
Oh, blocked by the rim. Thawn Maker had a chance to make the highlight reel. That's the wrong one to make, though.
He took off a little bit too far away from the
You think he wants this one?
but he comes right back. That's what you love about this kid.
Knocks Brasdickas, who wanted to foul. Three-pointer here, and Team White inches a little closer, and now a little pressure as well, half-court pressure.
And you're seeing what a competitor Jamal Blair is, too. This kid can make shots, and he's not afraid of making big shots, and here he comes again.
Another steal. Blair now turns Brasdickas inside out, off the glass. Juricic will take it out, kick it back out. Nembhard. Blair again, no. Colby McEwen says, let's just settle this down here.
It's a good idea right now. Try to get something good.
5-point lead. Washington Jr. in and out. Again, here come
you got
Team
Khalif
White.
Young. I'd look for Khalif Young in the post if it was me.
Will that go? No. Knocked out of bounds. They're saying it's red ball.
Well, you're missing a couple of shots. You got a big fella like Khalif Young. Feed the big man. He's had success down low.
Thawn Maker's had some good moments here tonight. This is not one that he'll remember.
Well, just a little bit too far away from the bucket when he takes off right here. He turned around. I think he surprised himself where he was, but he comes right back. Next play, it finds Jamal Blair.
Oh, the big guy again, Khalif Young. Hammers it home.
That's the answer, Rod. Give it to your big man.
16-year-old Nembhard. Now Maker makes up for it.
Slick pass by Nembhard.
He's a ferocious player.
Like I said, very understated. Nembhard just sees the whole floor.
Young, soft touch. Jumper outside.
Big fella. Get inside.
Maker wants to go coast to coast. Drops it in. And now a 10-4 run for Team White with under 3 to go. And it's getting interesting.
How about Maker using some muscle right there? He put the body into Khalif Young, who's got about 50 pounds on him, and got him out of the way.
DeRosier.
Oh, big shot.
Nothing but net. Three-pointer. Answers the bell here.
And that's what he does. DeRosier is one of those guys that does all the little things out there, and he can make, not afraid to make big plays.
DeRosier watching Nembhard. Team White needs points on this trip. They're not going to get it. McEwen now wants to drive. And the foul on the floor. And Team Red opening up a 115-109 lead with 2:17 to go. Khalif Young, oh, he might be an MVP too. Another big slam.
Name is in the books.
Jamal Blair, I'm a 6'4" point guard. I attend Orangeville Prep and I'm from Brampton, Ontario. My nickname is, they call me Juggy or Jughead. I got it I was about 12 years old. I was at a basketball camp and I was juggling. And I kept juggling and it hit my head. I tried again, kept going. It hit my head. I kept going again, it hit my head. And after they kept on calling me Juggy. Ever since then, people have just been calling me Juggy ever since. So now it's just carried on now. My nickname's just Juggy for life now, I guess.
Juggy.
He's a great kid. I like being around him. Every time you talk to him, he's got this great smile, an infectious smile. He walk in a room and take a room over. And, you know, when he plays, he has that. You've seen him here in the second half, what he's done. He really has allowed White to get right back in his game. 25 points, knocking down threes and driving that ball to the basket.
Jamal Blair. Boy, something in the water in Brampton the last decade or so. So many great ballers out of that area just northwest of downtown Toronto.
And now you have one unbelievable facility out there as well.
So 115-109. Each team has a 30-second timeout in the final 3 minutes here. Colby McEwen again plays at Wasatch Academy in Mount Pleasant, Utah, with Emmanuel Acott. He's committed to Utah State. Number of Canadians, 7 Canadians play at that academy. They built that program in the last couple of years.
Yeah. Academy has a good reputation. A lot of players have thrived there, done well. Oh, good job defensively, Alexander.
Juricic has to hit here. Team White going to come up short. Time is the enemy now. Gilgeous-Alexander lost the ball. It will be White ball here.
Yeah, and you have the lead. You want to take care of the basketball right now. And you don't have to rush anything. Time and score, one of the most important things for all players to understand.
So Isaiah Mike back in the ball game. Thawn Maker will sit down. Inside 2 minutes to play, fourth quarter. Gold Ring Center tonight, a great facility. Great night for Canadian basketball. Javon Blair goes one way, then the other, then backhanded, tried a little showtime. Juggy going up there, he couldn't juggle it anymore.
Showtime, but again, he's got some flair and he's got some stuff to him. Rod, what he was trying to do was get that call. He was trying to go in there, turn his body, and try to get that call and see if he could just get that ball up there, and maybe he can get an and one. And that's the kind of feel he has for the game.
Well, not only that, gets a chance here to stop the clock in the last 90 seconds. Again, there's no major victory or medal for winning the BioSteel All-Canadian game.
But you can talk some junk after.
You can talk some junk, and there is a lot of pride on the line. A lot of these players on both sides play with or against each other. And by the way, there are some scouts, there are some coaches who are watching this one tonight. They want to see how you start and how you finish.
And a lot of people across Canada that haven't seen these kids now get a really good opportunity to see them and see how this game is developing.
They're saying it's white ball. So Team Red trying to hang on for a victory for a second straight year. Currently up by 6, but still time now for Team White. Can't be stopped on a trip here, though. Bowen back out to Mike, to Blair. Hot hand for Team White, gives it off to Bowen. Bowen slashes inside, will go to the line and shoot.
Well, he just put his head down and said, I'm getting something out of this one. Just drove right down the lane using his body.
You know, I loved what Iga Bredzikas also said earlier about the thrill of playing in this game. For a couple of these players, they've played in 2 of them now. But you know, to know what this game has become, it's essentially the McDonald's High School game for Canada. It's the BioSteel game here. And it's a showcase, and it's a thrill to be named to play.
Oh, absolutely. It's a big deal. These kids, you know, really look at this as a major event, and it's important to them. And I think it's great that, you know, Canada has an event like this. It can be put on TV for everybody to see and appreciate this young talent.
You'll see these kids down the road, and Khalif Young tried the reverse. No.
Well, think about all the people last year that didn't know who Jamal Murray was. I mean, they had no idea. A lot of people across Canada did not know who Jamal Murray was. Even in the U.S., for a lot of people, he was kind of a well-kept secret. And all of a sudden, he bursts on the scene, goes to Kentucky. And last year, I remember NBA scouts talking about him, saying if he comes out now, he would be in a lottery. This was last year, NBA scouts were telling me that.
Where do you see him going?
Well, I talked to some scouts in the last month, and initially, a few months ago, it was he wouldn't go below 12. And after the season, he finished up at Kentucky. The range was 2 to 8. And here's the thing you got to remember.
Would be a good number.
Yeah. And you got to remember, at Kentucky, he was off the ball. You had Tyler Eulis, and he was playing the 2 guard. He's a point guard. The fact that he was able to play as well as he did for Kentucky, and he was spectacular at times, can really shoot the ball. Defensively, he can guard either position. You know, I think that, you know, he's going to come to the NBA, and he's going to be able to use that size, play the point guard. He's sneaky athletic. And the comparison I kind of use when I think of a young Jason Kidd when he came to the NBA, but this is a Jason Kidd with a jump shot. Jason Kidd couldn't shoot the ball when he came into the league, but he's got that aggressive size, quickness, the fact that he can shoot, he can distribute, and he likes to defend.
29 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds. A year ago, MVP of this BioSteel All-Canadian game, and a loss last year.
A great kid, too.
What a great
Hey, you know what?
Man.
We're talking about all these other kids. Jamal Murray is a great kid.
Juricic, what a nice feed underneath. Bowen now sets it outside. Blair,
Money.
three-pointer, money ball. And suddenly, Team White is within 1 with 40 seconds to go here. Gilgeous-Alexander thought he had a seam. Now back out. 3-point shot. Stolen back by Team Red. O'Shea Brissett, no. Loose ball again, and here comes Team White. And once again, it's Blair to the rack, and yes, it goes. And suddenly, Team White has the lead.
Javon Blair taking over this game in the second half. He has done it all for Team White. Knocking down threes, pushing the ball up the floor, giving them energy. Ball comes out. Blair says, yeah, steps back, looks down, gets his foot behind the line, knocks it down, and in transition, get out of my way. I got a bucket to make right here.
31 points for Javon Blair.
But here's the impressive part, Rod. 24 of those in the second half.
When he wasn't in the conversation, he was dishing it off to Isaiah Mike, who was the MVP candidate in the first. We talked about it at halftime, and suddenly it's somebody stepping up in the second half. And it's no surprise that Javon Blair, he's been an MVP in games like this before.
Yeah, and you know, you watch the way he plays. I've seen him play so many times where, again, not afraid of the moment, not afraid to take a big shot. He's got this confidence, this air about him, and it's contagious. You know, you're playing with him, you feel good. You feel like you can get something done because you know that he believes it.
Well, Khalif Young's had a heck of a game, so has O'Shea Brissett. What's the play here? Shot clock is off. This is for the win, partner. What do? You're the coach. Who's getting the ball here for Team Red?
I'm going to look inside. I'm going to try to go inside, see if you can get an opportunity to score inside, get a foul, and don't forget about Brzdikis. Brzdikis is a player that likes to make big shots.
Brissett, Shea Alexander. Alexander, 15 seconds to go in the fourth. Brzdikis, Gilgeous-Alexander. Oh, it is stolen! And a foul. And Team White has a chance to seal this here.
Right, Brzdikis was there too.
Maybe one too many feeds in the paint. Great defense, though, from Team White.
You always tell players, keep your hands up, keep your hands moving, be active, and check out the defense right here. Brzdikis gives it up, he's open, but Mike doing a good job with a hand up to deflect the basketball. And, you know, coaches preach deflections all the time. How about this, Rod? White has led for less than a minute.
For the entire game, and they have a chance to win it all.
Dave DeVero, he knew it all along. He's just playing possum.
It's not how you start. So now, though, Team Red still has a chance. They've brought out DeRosier and Godwin Bowen will force Team Red with a free throw made here to make a three. So here it is. 8 seconds to go. Gilgeous-Alexander will give it to Brzdikis. Brzdikis, though, will go to the line. Not sure that Team Red knew that they're down by 3, though. And Brzdikis was taking it to the window.
Yeah, I thought he was going to take that 3. He got that ball, and he had a little bit of a space, and you know he knows he can make that shot. I'm surprised he didn't take it. As soon as he caught it, he just put his head down and went to the bucket, and pretty good effort there.
Had a good game, though. Ignas Brzdikis. Again, just 17 years old. So he makes the first. So this is now a 2-point game with 2.2 left. So everybody knowing that Brzdikis looking to miss this shot here. And he does. It goes up. It's in. No basket, they're saying. And there is a foul on the floor, and now a chance to tie with free throws.
You know, who else but Khalif Young? You got an offensive rebound. Who's been snagging them all game long? Look at it, just a great effort to get that position, just riding Isaiah Mike under the bucket, so he had no chance of getting that ball.
Khalif Young now, talk about pressure. He's 0 for the line today, 0 for 4. Needs to make both to force some OT. Why not? How about that last play? So Young has to make, and he will not. So now he has to miss. 0 for 5, and just 1.4 left, and Khalif knows it. Red shooting just 50% from the free throw line and really costly in this one. So here it is, has to miss. And the tap back and another whistle and a foul. And they'll put Team Red on the line again.
Officials don't want this game to end, do they?
I think you know what happens is you get overtime for them as well. And I believe they call Maker on that. So now you talk about getting another chance. O'Shea Brissett, he hasn't been letting it up from the line either.
Yeah, 5 of 11 from the free throw line.
Well, he has to make here. There's just .7 left. Has to make 2. Does not. So now has to miss, and it has to be a serious tap. There's not going to be another call in the paint here. I don't know if I've seen something like this in quite some time. Not the way to end a ball game. And naturally it goes. So they're going to have to get a steal very quickly here. They will not. .1 now on the clock.
Well, as you said, Rod, haven't seen too many endings quite like that. With the one shot they needed to miss, he made.
Well, one of the things that a lot of these young players can take away from this game is how important free throws are at the next level when you get to the NC2A, particularly around March Madness.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. You gotta make it. But you saw James Derwin, and you look at his expression. One of the things he said to me before the game, you know, he's a university coach, University of Ottawa. He's done a great job. He's got him ranked in the top of the country every year now. And he says, you know what? They're kids. These guys are young, and they're going to make mistakes, and you just want them to have fun and learn this game.
Razdegas launches, but too late. Well, what a run by Team White in the fourth quarter. They were down big, came back. Dave DeVero just like he wanted. Javon Blair, what a performance in the second half. We'll have the MVP announcement in a moment from the BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game. White wins 120-118.
The 2016 BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game is brought to you by BioSteel Sports Nutrition, the natural choice for everyday performance. Drink the pink.
Than a minute of this basketball game, but that is all they needed as they prevail in this game. 120-118, your MVPs of the game. For Team Red, it is Khalif Young. What a game he had. Unbelievable. 20 points and 9 boards in this one. Unfortunately, he will probably remember those free throws at the end of the game as he is smiling. No worry. And then, of course, Javon Blair, a game-high 31 points in this one, and he led the massive comeback for Team White. He had 24 points in the second half, and the greatest part is that they are both teammates as well at Orangeville Prep, and both of them are joining me on set right now. Khalif, I will begin with you, and take me through those free throws at the end of the game. I mean, you guys had 2 opportunities to get back into this game, but you couldn't put it up. Take me through them.
I think the ball came off right, and we got the rebound, and then once I had the ball in my hands, I thought it was good, but an unlucky break. But I think we all played hard. We all enjoyed the game, so I think it was a good turnout, and everything was great.
So, Javon, obviously just a turn of events in the second half of this game. What was said in the locker room to really get you guys going and ultimately winning this game?
I mean, you know, our coach told us to come out strong second half. We were all playing lazy, we weren't playing defense, so I thought that myself, just step it up myself and make my team win. And we won.
So the greatest part is you are both teammates for Orangeville Prep, and I got to ask you first, Khalif, now you're in the mix with a guy like Jamal Murray, who took home the MVP honors last year. That's got to make you smile. And what does that mean to you, knowing your future is so bright after this?
I think that I worked hard to get where I am. I think that with all the support of my coaches and my family, I think that's the only reason I'm really here. So I got to give all these accolades and all the blessings to my family and my coaching staff. That's the biggest thing.
And Javon, for you as well, as mentioned, Jamal Murray took home the honors last year. Now you're the MVP of this game as well. Where does this rank in your basketball career so far?
I mean, it's really just another milestone for me. Just following in Khalid's footsteps, Jamal's footsteps. I'm just happy to be here, and I made my team win.
Well, congratulations to both of you, your teammates. I saw a little high five, even though they did prevail at the end. 120-118, the final of the second annual BioSteel All-Canadian basketball game. What a dramatic ending to this one, as the country has officially been introduced to the next wave of basketball stars. For Rod, Leo, and myself, thank you so much for watching. Don't go anywhere. SportsCenter is coming up next on TSN.